Hello and welcome to the Retro Game Club podcast, Season 7, Episode 14, which is also Episode 203. I am Rob, and joining me is someone who exclusively uses his Switch 2 to play GameCube, Zach.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
How is that going?
I did actually branch out a tiny bit, but then went right back to playing Wind Waker again. It's going pretty good. I'm still working on Wind Waker. I was loving it. I still love it. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. I was loving it, but then I got to a point where they're like, sail all the way across the map. And then somebody's going to tell you to sail all the way back across the map.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
Like, I'm to that part where they're trying to make the game feel longer.
Yeah.
And just got to the Tower of the Gods and didn't save it or create a save state. Because I never had a problem with my Switch anyway. And so far the Switch 2 hasn't been an issue, and it crashed or something overnight and I lost my progress because I just totally forgot.
No.
So it was only like 10 minutes, but sometimes that's all I have. That's all the time I have to play.
Exactly. Yeah.
I did try the new Ninja Gaiden.
Mm-hmm. How is that?
What's the name of that? I can never remember.
Starts with an R.
Something with an R. Yeah.
Ragebound.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. So it's okay. I don't know. I'll come back to it. I just want to work on Wind Waker some more, but
does it feel like the original Ninja Gaidens?
I don't think so. I think
is it more
the problem.
Dead Cells?
Is it doesn't. I've not played Dead Cells, but it seems like mostly what I've been doing anyway is mostly just spinning and bouncing on enemies. Because like there's a move where you can just tap the attack button in the air and you can do a little swirl and you can bounce across enemies. So I'm just kind of like, I feel like I'm speed running through it. So it's okay. I mean, I've only made it to the first boss. The thing that turned me off from it immediately was the tutorial stage, where I just wish that the game would teach you how to play it by letting you play it instead of telling you what to do.
Just like the originals,
yeah. So it's like, it's a shortcut to getting the player going, but I don't know. I like it better when you can just kind of figure out what you're doing. They give you a wall, you jump over the wall. Now you know how to jump, right?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But there's a whole tutorial stage, and I was like, I don't like the hand holdiness of that, but whatever. And then outside of that, I went to the theater 3 times recently, and I saw 28 Years Later, and then I saw Superman, the new James Gunn one, and then most recently I saw Fantastic Four: First Steps, and I only enjoyed one of those. And can you guess which one it is?
28 Years Later?
That is the worst one of the 3.
Really? Wow.
It's garbage. I don't understand the reviews. People are loving it, and I've listened to a number of movie podcasts who love it. But then at least one of them was describing all the issues that I had with it and why it was dumb. And they're like, but I love it anyway, and it's probably his best work. So I don't know. I am.
It's like they want to like it.
Yeah, I think so. And I can't get there. So then Superman was okay. I think it was overhyped. It's a little too comic booky for me. And then I really enjoyed Fantastic Four. So,
oh, wow. Good.
So that would be my recommendation.
Nice. Yeah, I think those will be home watches for me because my kids saw the Superman and Fantastic Four, but I'm not going to go by myself and see him if he's already seen them. He's kind of my superhero watching buddy. So
no, nice.
He's
I wish I
with
could
his
get
friends. So
my kids won't watch movies.
Huh?
My kids won't even watch movies.
Oh, you got an email about that this week.
Yes, that's right.
So that'll probably be a streaming service for me.
Yep. Yeah, you can wait. You can wait on any of those. None of them were like, you got to go see this now. So.
Well, okay, I like bad movies. I like stupid movies and good movies. But, so I'm prefacing with that to say, like, I'm not a movie snob by any means. I watch mostly stupid 90s movies. Anyway, I like superhero movies, but I'm sick of them. And I have lately liked the movies and TV shows that critics and audiences have panned. Like The New Mutants, the
I
X-Men
haven't even
movie
watched
in the
that yet.
Asylum,
Right. Okay.
and She-Hulk. Those are like,
Oh, I loved She-Hulk.
okay,
That
good.
was really good.
So
Yeah.
you're the other person that loved it then.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. You know,
Yeah.
I just want them to not. I'm the kind of guy that I've seen all the action now. Like, once the fighting starts, I just kind of zone out, not in a good way.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. Like, there's only so much fighting I can take. Oftentimes it goes on too long, or it's just not interesting. Like, make it, do something different. Just don't keep doing the same thing over and over again. So,
And
yeah,
I
I hear
mean,
ya.
it's kind of like what, oh my gosh. It's because everyone knows me by now. If you listen to this podcast, there's a microphone in front of me, so I don't have a brain. The name of the original Batman movie actor.
Michael Keaton.
Thank you. Yeah, it's like Michael Keaton said, you know, Batman is about Bruce Wayne. It's not about Batman. Like, you know, focus on those stories. Mm-hmm. Even though that kind of aged poorly in the age of Elon Musk. Like, no one wants billionaires to win right now.
I was gonna say the third Christopher Nolan Batman movie really focused on Bruce Wayne, and that was not very good. But I don't think it was because he focused on Bruce Wayne. That was bad for other reasons.
Yeah, they were kind of milking the Batman trilogy at that point, right?
Right.
Or wait, was that part of the trilogy, or was that?
It was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so just real quick, in case I forgot to plug my own show the last couple of times I was on, absolutely the best podcast, A Work in Progress. I'll put a link in the show notes. So if you want to hear me talk about mostly Marvel movies, but we do some MCU adjacent stuff as well, like The Mummy is coming up. We have a special guest on that one, and we're going to start covering the Alien and Predator movies starting in October. So if that kind of thing interests you, you check it out. And now I will turn the show back over to Rob so we can talk about gaming.
Definitely check out that podcast. And I would like to give the listeners some suggestions. If you don't have a lot of time but still want to check out Zach's podcast, it's not like you have to listen to it in order. You can go through and pick, start with your favorite movies and start with stuff like that. So don't let it be daunting. This week we had a poll in the Discord. Please get in the Discord. It is actually becoming our number one source of feedback, which is fun.
It's been great. Yeah.
Yeah. And we've had a lot of spillover between ours and a few other Discords. So yeah, that's been really cool. But the poll was, as a listener, would you prefer really easy to get to games you remember for Game Club games, the Mario and Zeldas of the world, or would you like weird PC Engine games or stuff you maybe have never played, FM Towns, stuff like that? And it was exactly 50-50. I wasn't really going to change the podcast based on that. It was more of a curiosity, but I don't know, with this 50-50, maybe if someone picks a simple game, I'll pick maybe a harder game to get into, or vice versa. So we'll see. And let's see. Oh, I finished Blaster Master Zero, which, Zach, I know you finished as well. It's a 10 out of 10 game, right?
I loved it. It's great. Did you get the good ending?
I don't know.
What happened in the end? Spoiler alert.
Oh, jeez.
Did Eve, is that her name? Was she stuck in the Sophia 3 and it was covered in vines or whatever, and that was the end?
No, she went into space.
Okay, I think you got the good ending.
Okay.
So I got the bad ending, and then I looked into what I had to do to get the good ending, and I was like, I'm just done with this game. I enjoyed it all the way through up until I got the bad ending. So I was a little put off by the ending, but other than that, great game, loved it. And I think 2 is even better.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'll get into that eventually. What do you remember what you like, not specifically, but what kind of thing you had to do for the good ending?
It was just collect some extra, you had to collect 100% of everything or whatever. And I was just ready to move on at that point. I don't even know if it would have been that difficult, but
I know I didn't get 100% of everything because I don't think I ever got that downward electrical thing.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure you get that halfway through the game.
I know. I think somehow I skipped it because I watched a video of it because I thought I missed something. I wasn't like watching a walkthrough. I was like, I feel like, I'm missing a few things. And in the video, I saw someone using that pretty early on, and I just never got it. So I feel like somehow I skipped it, but I could be wrong. Maybe I just didn't use it.
Yeah, so it just says you need to collect all the items and explore all of the map.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know, maybe you did it on accident. Yeah. Or I'm misremembering the bad ending.
I like video games that have multiple endings. I just don't like there being a bad ending. You know what I mean?
Right. Or like Castlevania 2, where the bad ending was really the good ending and the good ending was really the bad ending because of the...
And it's hard to even know. Like, I didn't even know there were different endings. I think the game that gets it best is Nier Automata.
Okay, I haven't played that yet, but I was going to suggest that a lot of the Metroid ones I like because... there's usually 2 or 3 different endings, and it just depends on how quickly you got through it or how, like, if you've collected 100% or not. So
yeah,
those are usually
I don't
doable.
like that in Metroid because I don't like scanning things. Not a scanner.
I didn't think you had to scan everything to get the special in Primes in the Prime series.
Yeah, I thought in Prime you had to scan the enemies.
There might be like a 1% that you get for scanning everything. I know I've done it, but I don't recall if that was the case or not.
What else? Do I have anything else here? Oh, I hacked my daughter's 2DS because she's been wanting to. I bought some SD cards for her in Australia, and the 2DS is not region locked, but the 3DS is. I think I got that right. I could have it backwards because she has a 2DS, which is a 3DS. But
the clamshell one or the one?
The clamshell one, yeah.
Okay, yeah, nice.
And so I put the cart in there, and it didn't work. So I was like, you know what? I own these. I started with an R4 card, and just setting up the BIOS got annoying. And I think it's because everyone just went to hacking them now because it's so easy.
Right. It is pretty easy. Yeah.
Yeah. And I suggest everyone, if you have a 2DS, 3DS, do it.
Yeah, I did that. I did that for my 2DS, I don't know, 6 months ago or something like that. French Pet Will pointed me to a site, and it was just like, literally just follow the directions. I had no idea what it was doing half the time, and it just worked. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it only takes like 10 minutes, and there's no downside, really.
Yeah, works great.
And a few pickups here for a future Game Club game, and one that I didn't have.
Nice. We talked about that last time.
Yeah, Metroid Prime Pinball. So excited for that.
In English?
Yes.
That's my mistake.
In English, yes. And then I got Cho Aniki. This is a PC Engine shooter, or like side-scrolling shooter. And so our listeners can see, it has these weird, I don't know if you can see it, these weird muscle men on the back.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a game for you.
Yeah, very Japanese. Or all of us if it becomes a, what's it called?
Game Club game. Yeah. I'm sure it will.
Well, should we hop into our short news here?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well, kind of a weird one here, literally. Weird Al Yankovic's lost Nintendo game is real, and it's gloriously insane. And so I guess in the past, Weird Al had an 8-bit NES game that never came out. And this video and this Geek Tyrant article has very little details on when this was created, why it didn't come out, but there's video play of it, and Weird Al, it's almost like an ad for it. And this game, it looks funny in the way that it's jokey, but as a game, it doesn't look good. The graphics look very good, like in a homebrew type way, where it's like, did they really get these good graphics back in the day? That's why I'm a bit skeptical on this.
I think it's fake, because I was kind of in the same boat as you. I was like, was it like, so they made this game back then, and it's believable. And like you were saying, the gameplay doesn't look great sometimes. Like the first stage, I think, is just mash the B button. Like, well, that's not interesting. But he gets to level 8. It could be a joke, but he was like, "Your nest explodes, so skip that one."
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I'm like, okay, that's just a joke. But then he gets to level 9 and he's talking about like you have to dodge phone calls, and the phone on the screen is very clearly a smartphone. I'm like, okay, they did not have that in 1980, whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is fake. But it was interesting, and like I don't know if it's fake. They were pretending that it's an old lost game and that they really made this, because I think it would be interesting to actually play it, or if it's just completely made up. But I thought it was interesting watching the video. Some of the levels, I was recognizing the graphic styles and the sound effects music. I couldn't place them all.
The shooter part of it was definitely Contra.
I didn't. The Rainbow Owl one? Yeah, so it had Contra sound effects, but it looked like Ninja Gaiden.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And then there's like a Double Dragon stage with Castlevania sound effects. Level 4 was just Donkey Kong. And the other one I saw was, level 7. It was like an overhead car race. And the collision physics looked really familiar, but I couldn't really place that. I'm thinking maybe Spy Hunter.
Yeah, I couldn't place that either. And then the level before that was the DMV, and it is you wait for 8 hours.
Yes.
And if you have the cheat code, you wait for 7.5 hours. Yes. So very Desert Bus.
That's pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So very strange. We'll see if, I don't know, Limited Run Games or something releases that. So we shall see. And then one you think I would be excited for, the X68000Z is getting its very own East collection this winter. And yeah, that's literally what is happening. It's East Legacy Collection, so it's East 1, 2, and 3 for the X68000Z. These versions of the games won't be based on the original X68000 ports from back in the day, but instead the Beeps 2021 versions. So, they didn't look that great. I mean, it's interesting stuff, but there's definitely better ports of this game.
So I thought that this was kind of the pinnacle of Retro Game Club news.
Exactly, and it kind of is, yeah. But it's weird system, weird port, weird version.
Everything I know about Ys, I learned from listening to the podcast.
I'm sure you're not alone. And then there's a new handheld that you love the name of, the SNES handheld. And it is a FPGA SNES handheld where you can plug in real carts to it. So kind of neat. That's, we don't like vaporware handhelds here. This is the same company that released the portable PS1 handheld. That was kind of cool. And so this is legit. And if you couldn't do carts in this, I probably wouldn't have included it. But I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out, because if you dig into their documentation, there's a lot of the chips on there are labeled with Nintendo's logo. So I don't know if this is like a mod on an actual Super Nintendo, or if they're taking the chips from it, or what, or maybe they're just stamping it with Nintendo for some reason because they love lawsuits.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it is strange because they do talk about a system on a chip that is a Super Nintendo, so it's not like they need the PPUs or anything, know. So I don't know.
Maybe it was from a like a prototype, and they've just done everything on an FPGA or something. I don't know.
Yeah, really strange.
But yeah, I didn't care for the name, because it's like, how do you pronounce that? SNES? SNES? A Super Nintendo?
Yeah. So and I don't think there was a price there. So yeah, kind of strange news this week. And then moving along for our topic of the episode, I interviewed an old friend of mine, someone I've known for 27 years now, 28 years, something like that. This is Ryan Ridley. He was the one of the creators of Rick and Morty and voices in a lot of video games and he created a ton of stuff. Like he wrote the I can never pronounce it, Renfield movie, that vampire
right.
movie, and which was actually pretty good. No,
Renfield.
actually, it was pretty
Renfield.
good. And quick disclaimer in this interview, I did bring up a few topics that were either stuff Ryan had an NDA on or working on sequels and couldn't spoil something. So if you hear weird cuts in this, that's why, where it was like maybe we quickly segued and it was like almost the middle of a thought kind of thing. So I have not edited this yet, so we shall see how those parts come out, but I'll do my best to navigate those.
I can't wait to hear it.
Yes, and yeah, Zach has not heard it, so afterwards, if he has no response, that's why.
Yeah. Well, I will say that I think the best Rick and Morty seasons were when he was writing, because I think he left after the third season. He still does a voice now and then, but he doesn't write anymore, as far as I know.
I think in the next season he's back.
Okay, great.
So maybe some good Rick and Morty coming.
Yeah.
And here we go. All right, joining us today is my old buddy, Ryan Ridley. You may know him from a few credits that I cherry-picked from IMDb. Writer of Renfield, producer and other credits on Rick and Morty, Krapopolis. I think I pronounced that right. I don't think I've ever said that out loud before. Big City Green, Solar Opposites, Star Trek Lower Decks, Community, Sarah Silverman Program, Ghosted, Invincible, and my personal favorite, Acceptable TV. Ryan, welcome.
Thank you. I just went down an Acceptable TV memory lane the other day at my friend's house. We were watching a bunch of old episodes, which are very hard to find.
I tried to find them. If you can't, would you be able to put those up on YouTube or something?
I'm sure somebody could, because they're on, Plex.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend has a Plex server, and they're all up on that. And so I'm sure that friend could easily put them on YouTube. I don't know if there's anything if there'd be any kind of copyright issues, but I don't think anyone cares. It's a Viacom property. Maybe now that the merger is done, free game. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, gosh, I remember. So if people that don't know Acceptable TV, was that a Jack Black thing? Right? Was he part of that?
Jack Black produced it. Yeah, through his guys. Actually, Jack Black and Mike White, the creator of White Lotus. I didn't even realize it's Mike White, White Lotus. I didn't even think of that connection. But anyway, yeah. So they had a production company back then. I assume they met either around the time of either before, after, or during the production of School of Rock, which Mike White wrote. And they had this production company back then. And then Dan Harmon, the Channel 101 creator, which is what yielded Acceptable TV, which is like the TV version of a Channel 101. He was friends with Jack from writing Heat Vision and Jack. Oh my God, there it is again. These people just put their names in things. And so he produced that show. So he was in, I think, a couple of the intros, maybe at most, maybe just the pilot.
Yeah. And for people that don't know what it was sketches and I think a few animated shorts where each week the viewers would vote on what makes it to the next episode, gets another, I guess it wouldn't be season, but episode, right?
Yeah, it was based on the Channel 101 model, which is a live screening in Los Angeles where the audience would vote on their top 5 favorite shows. Those 5 out of 10 would get a returning episode. And, things would then be canceled if they didn't get voted back, which is emulating the model of real TV. The audience gets to cancel shows or renew shows, like their network executives. So that the TV show did that. And it's interesting because looking back, we were the least successful of this wave of sketch comedy that came out at that time, which included The Human Giant on MTV with Aziz Ansari and Paul Scheer and Rob Hubel, and then The Whitest Kids You Know on IFC. And those were all groups that were kind of a music group. They just, I don't know, some music groups, I don't know, all operate where they all were sort of democratic and they kind of just got to do their own thing. And we were this thing that was Dan was sort of the head writer of the sketch show. So it wasn't as, you know what I mean? It was sort of this more uniform style, which Channel 101 was all about everybody kind of doing their own thing. That's not to say I think it's still great. I was rewatching it being a lot of this stuff holds up.
It was great. But I thought it was ahead of its time. And I remember seeing a certain sketch where I just thought, Ryan made it. He did the thing. This is going to be, and it
What
was
sketch?
Pedophile Gladiator, which I still think is one of the
Oh,
funniest sketches I've ever seen.
yeah, and I just rewatched it. That one is great, and it's funny because I play the like one of the two commentators, and
Yeah,
my
yeah.
name is Rick Sanchez in that, which I I think now is officially the first time the name Rick Sanchez was used in media before the cartoon character even.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, Rick and Morty and all the spin-offs and stuff coming from that. Are you working on that new spin-off at all? That was just
No, I
announced?
probably will. I shouldn't even say probably, but I may do voices for it, and I only say that because I auditioned for a voice in it, and then I was told, yeah, we should get Ryan in the show, but this isn't really the part for him. So
Well,
that, which is funny. What's that?
oh no, I was going to say I was when we were planning this months and months ago. I was driving my kids when you wrote me back a text or Facebook or whatever, and it popped up that I had a message on my car's console, and my kids were like, "Who's that? Who's messaging you?" I was like, "My buddy Ryan," and they're like, "We don't know him." I'm like, "You know Rick and Morty?" And they're like, "No," and I was like, "Mr. Poopy Butthole," and they're like, "Oh yeah." So they think now Mr. Poopy Butthole messages me.
Wait, they know Mr. Poopy Butthole, but they don't know the show that
Because
he's
I
from.
have, it's one of the few Funko Pops I have.
Oh, okay.
So
Um,
I learned the wrong way when
yeah.
my kids could read and they're reading everything and they're like, "What's Mr. Poopy Butthole?" I'm like,
Uh-huh.
"Oh
Are they too young for the show?
yeah, yeah." They're 9 and 6.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. So my friend, our friend, wait, do you know Mike Flaherty?
I know the name. Yeah. Oh yeah, I do know
Okay.
him. Yeah, yeah.
So he's got two kids, and I think they got to be like 17 and 15 now. But like they're just now getting into the show. But for years, I would see them, and like they didn't know the show, so they didn't care. But and then all of a sudden, Mike texted me, he's like, "The kids are into the show now." So now they like are perceiving you differently. Now, next time you come to visit us, they'll be actually excited.
Yeah, you're no longer a lame old person. They'll actually
Hmm.
care. Yeah. It's
Exactly.
funny how that happens. Yeah.
Yeah, it's how you stay young.
Yeah, same thing happened with my kids. My son's old enough to be on YouTube now, and he brought his iPad to like a play date with some of his friends, and none of these kids, like, I'm old, I'm lame, and he played one of my old music videos for them on YouTube, and now they think I'm like super famous or something and ask me
Oh,
questions.
wow. Yeah.
Little do they
Yeah, all
know,
you
I'm
need.
totally lame.
I'm happy to stay lame.
Hmm.
I mean, we were talking about this off air, but I like embracing the phase of life where you start getting into bird watching,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
uh, and stargazing.
Hmm.
It's like that's what I'm all about. If someone wants to talk about that, that to me is way cooler than talking about the latest hot MTV band.
Well, I mean, you're talking to someone that talks about old video games on a podcast for a few
Yeah.
thousand people.
And old video games are, I mean, that's a weird paradox of like, that was like the line that separated us from our parents. It's like
Mhm.
understanding even what video games were. And now these things are like spanning multiple generations.
It's ubiquitous now. Yeah, yeah. Oh, speaking of which, so did you work on the Mario Brothers movie? Because I didn't see it on IMDb, but I heard.
Yeah, I worked on it, but it I wasn't like the credited writer. So like a lot of times in movies, they have people come in and work on stuff, just like coming up with ideas, punching up jokes, whatever it is. Then they're not like credited as the writer. Nowadays, like certain movies, there's a new rule in the WGA where if that happens, like on a big studio movie, usually, then at the end it'll say like additional literary material by whoever did that on the movie. It means nothing other than just that credit in the credits, but doesn't get you residuals. So I did that for the Mario movie. And yeah, that's the explanation for why there's no trace of it.
Thought it was a fine movie. It was exactly what you thought a Mario movie would be, which is a good review from
Yeah,
me.
yeah. No, I knew it was going to be super successful because I was like, oh, there's so few things that have not been tapped yet, like in the IP of like everything that's ever been made. And obviously Barbie was one, and Mario was the other, with the exception of the 1993 Bob
Yeah.
Hopkins version,
Yeah.
Hoskins version. But you know, this is like they look like they do from the game. It's all the moments and sequences and iconography of the game. So I'm like, this is going to be huge because like all people want to do is see these characters on screen in the way they've seen them in
And
video games.
thousands of Easter eggs in the background, and
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you know, they do a good job. They know what they're doing. That studio.
yeah, I enjoyed it. Ooh, I mean, so speaking of video games, since I guess we are on a video game podcast, you know, what was your gaming history like growing up? Or
Well, I think probably the very first. Well, I mean, not probably the first system. Well, even before the systems, it was like going to the arcade and playing. You know, like what blew my mind as a kid was all the Don Bluth games.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that who it was behind?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, for
So,
sure. Dragon
yeah,
Slayer
like,
and
yeah,
yeah.
Space Ace.
Yeah.
And even stuff that I remember, there's some cowboy game I played at a mall that was like an animated, like not the Don Bluth style, some kind of more serious style. And it was like, that just blew my mind. The idea of like controlling. I mean, of course, looking back, it was like control as in major finger quotes.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I don't know what control you actually had. I guess if you jammed the joystick hard enough to the left at exactly the right split second, the character did what you wanted them to do. But just the illusion of that was just so cool to me.
Yeah, I mean, those were glorified laser discs.
Yeah.
Yep.
In fact, years later, I got the DVD version, like I'm talking like when my 30s, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I just get to go home and play this. And like, it does work much better. Like I beat that game like pretty easily.
Yeah. And now that's being made, that's another property. That's another IP that's being made into is it a series or a movie with Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah, last I heard, that's one of those things. Yeah, I have no idea I heard the same thing you heard, but like, I wonder if that's actually going to come out. Like, it could be one of those things that like, because I don't know if he's so busy, but like, we'll see. But like, I was excited to hear that. I was like, man, that's something I'd like to work on.
Oh yeah, I think it's a perfect. He looks like Dirk. I think I think it's a perfect thing.
Yeah, I know, and there's so few like movie stars. It's weird to think that. So it's like, yeah, he would be a good version of that. But yeah, I hope that comes out.
And so were you a Nintendo and Genesis kid? Like, would you run home from school and have certain games you'd be excited for?
Yeah, I mean, like finding out like when I think it was for Hanukkah, which is the Jewish Christmas.
They don't have that in Australia.
They don't have Jews in Australia.
No, I'm kidding.
It's they light the candles upside down and they burn.
They actually like
upwards.
koalas.
Wow.
Yeah.
So poor koalas. So that holiday you get like a present a day, like for the first 7 days, and then the 8th day you get like the big present.
Yeah.
So I got like, I think the Mario Brothers game, although probably not. Now that I think about it, because that came with the first NES, right?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have gotten it separately. I think I got Ninja Gaiden.
Oh, nice.
And I remember opening it up and just so now you imagine you're a kid, 11 years old, 10 years old, and you know you're going to get a Nintendo, but you can't play it. But 5 days from now, you're going to play it. So you just have the game, this inert piece of plastic that you're like, and just all I could do just obsess over the booklet and like look at the images, and then they're finally 5 days from now I could play it, and then it's always that disappointment of like, because the drawings in the booklet are so cool, and the game you're like, oh yeah, this isn't Space Ace or Dragon Slayer. They don't look cool.
Oh, they were still
like
fun though. They were still fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it was
that game sticks out for me because I remember that Nintendo Power had a special part that taught you how to tie a black cloth to be a ninja mask and how to like walk like a ninja silently and stuff. So there was a summer I was pretty much a ninja. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess it's not a mystery why were so obsessed with being ninjas. Like, it looks cool, cool weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. There was that whole run of '80s movies like Ninja.
American
Um,
Ninja.
yeah,
What was Chris Farley's movie? Was it Great
uh,
White? No.
Beverly Hills Ninja.
Beverly Hills Ninja. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. There's no ninja movies anymore. That's a lost genre.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, yeah, I mean, they tried to do. Did they do a Snake Eyes movie? Am I crazy? Wasn't it a
Yeah, I
Snake
didn't
Eyes
see
movie they
that.
did?
I didn't
Yeah,
see that.
that was, I guess, kind of the last vestiges of like the '80s ninja cool. But yeah,
I don't
Surf
know.
Ninjas, Three Ninjas.
You could bring it back.
Yeah, how do you do a modern ninja movie? That's interesting.
I know, because we all work from home now, so we're already in our pajamas like a ninja is, so it's not
Uh-huh.
exciting anymore.
Maybe it's the idea of like, yeah, like kids, like encouraging kids to dress in all black and use weapons is probably not.
Yeah, and wearing a mask
It's
after
not.
COVID
It,
is kind of
it hits
faux pas.
different these days. Yeah,
True, yeah. Oh, modern times, yeah.
yeah.
So are you still gaming at all? Or no?
No, I have not in a long time. I mean, actually, during COVID, speaking of, I got a Switch and was playing like Breath of the Wild and I think Luigi's Mansion. Like, this was just because I was in Louisiana with my girlfriend's family, and like I was like, oh, this will be a good
Hmm.
way to spend the time. And it was like
Breath of the
like
Wild is a
being a
10 out of 10 game.
yeah, and it was like being a kid again, like playing all night
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
playing all night for days and like accomplishing like 5% of the game. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
and I'm just like, I can't do this anymore because it engages too much of that obsessive part of the human brain or my brain that like, oh, I'll just not be able to stop. So when I do play, I prefer those games that are like 15 hours and you're at the most and you're done.
Yep.
The Last of Us was the last game I think I played and completed. And I was like, it's perfect. Like, it's every night I played
Oh,
for like
what a
an
great
hour, two
game.
hours. Yeah. And then I was done.
Hmm.
But if it's a game that is open-ended, like a Zelda or I don't even know, like Fallout, like, right? That's another kind of game
Or
like that.
yeah, like Red Dead Redemption or something.
Yeah. Anything like that or whatever Grand Theft Auto, like the new one, it's like those or the games that are like Fortnite, where it's like it's never ending because there's no game to finish. Like, that's just I can't do that anymore.
Oh, do you remember the Nintendo game Blaster Master?
No, what
No,
was
so
that?
it's another side scroller game. A few years ago, they came out with new ones, Blaster Master 0, 1, 2, and 3, and those are
Hmm.
perfect. Where it's modern, but it's in the old Nintendo style, so it's not as janky as the old Nintendo style. It's almost like how you remember Nintendo games being. When
Uh-huh.
sometimes you'll go back and play a game you loved and be like, oh, this is actually not that good. So I actually just played through that first one, the Blaster Master 0, and it's the perfect length. It's a fantastic game, and it gives you that retro-ness also. And
Yeah.
but what I do to kind of, because again, I have an addictive personality and I love video games. I'll play a game for a week, 2 weeks, and then I can't play another big game for like a week or 2 weeks. That's outdoor time. I need to be outside doing
Yeah.
something or creating.
Yeah. I know. I just feel too guilty. I mean, we all already waste enough time just on the phone or whatever, a billion distractions. And I'm like, so I just need to I'm already fighting to limit those. But in theory, I still love the idea of video games. They're like, especially, I don't know, are video games. I keep hearing rumors like video games like aren't not that they're not as popular, but are like, is the business shrinking at all?
So there's two things that are happening. The first thing is there's a lot of consolidation in modern gaming business. So like Microsoft or Sony will buy a ton of studios and then tell the government like, no jobs are going away. And then 2 years later, half those studios get,
Hmm.
shuttered or laid off. And then there's also Grand Theft Auto Online or Roblox or Fortnite or Minecraft where people just play those games. So you're not tearing them away from those 3 or 4 games to get them to play other games. I think what's going to happen is that a bunch of smaller studios are going to open back up because there's been so many layoffs. And I think in a few years we'll see the results of that and have some really cool smaller games that are profitable. Gaming industry is so profitable, but it's corporate greed that's really ruining it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's no different than the entertainment industry. It's probably suffering from the same issues. I mean, more so like just competition of things like video games, but like and TikTok and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
But how is AI going to affect video games?
Well, it'll make game development easier, so you can develop them faster and cheaper. So hopefully, games don't have to be $70.
Mm-hmm.
You'll probably have better AI characters, and then also those AI chips are pretty much just. A lot of them are glorified graphics chips. I'm very simplifying a very complex thing, but it makes lighting effects much easier and cheaper to do. So hopefully you don't need giant teams. You don't need to make $100 million to make a game profitable,
Got it. Yeah. That's the same logic. I think it's going to apply to the movie business too. It's like you don't need to spend $200 million to make a movie because at this point. A $200 million movie needs to make $1 billion to be profitable.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, you were a Battletoads voice, right?
Oh yeah,
Zitz.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So, did you know what Battletoads was before?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I remember like back in the day being like, "Oh wow, there's this whole flurry of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ripoffs coming out,"
Mm-hmm.
and I think Battletoads is sort of the only one that like. Battletoads is like the Nosferatu to Ninja Turtles Dracula, where it's like, oh, they're the same thing, but they're they both are stand on their own. Whereas I don't think Biker Mice from Mars or I don't know something with there was some sharks I remember.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I keep wanting to say Land Shark, but that's SNL.
Yeah, I think it was Street Sharks. Yeah, just all like you take an animal and you put them into a urban environment,
give them a weapon.
And make them some subculture. So bikers, ninjas, whatever the sharks were.
Yeah, vegan, the vegan sharks.
Oh wow, that's ooh. Can you imagine?
But so when you do work like that, I mean, I'm sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but your video game work is just like your voiceover work. So are you doing a bunch of hey, that kind of stuff?
Oh, I just did some voices. I don't even know if I'm like if I can't remember if I signed an NDA, so I'll just err on the side of
don't get sued.
Caution.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I just did some voices on a video game, and it was like it was intense because I'll do voices on cartoons like Rick and Morty, but it's like that's like sometimes just a half hour, maybe an hour, and you're doing the lines, and that's kind of it. But when video games, you're doing all the efforts and all the screaming, and it's like, well, this is during battle, so scream it, So it was exhausting, and it was like 4 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so exhausting.
Not your favorite work.
Yeah, it was fun, but I think the thing that sucks, I don't know if this is changing, but I think and I don't, because I'm not a full-time actor, like it's not my bread and butter. I'm not as cognizant of this as I would be with like a writing gig, but it's like, I don't think you get residuals for video games.
It depends. That's changing a little bit because a lot, video game voiceover people are part of SAG, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but how does it work with this? Because with like cartoon voice acting, I'll get residuals because if like, especially Rick and Morty, which airs all over the world on TV, streaming multiple times, so you get these residual checks. But video games, how does it work? Well, I don't know. Do you know?
Yeah, well, a little bit. I mean, they'll get residuals. Like there's certain people. So people like Ashley Birch, who did Aloy from Horizon Forbidden West, Dawn, whatever. There's 2 of those games. Plus, she was in that one TV show with the cast of It's Always Sunny. Oh, what is that?
The game.
Yeah, the video game one.
Yeah, Mythic Quest.
Yeah. Oh, what a funny show. But yeah, so she's in that, and she does a bunch of very, very well known characters in games. So you have people like that specialize and really that's where they got their that's their niche. So they'll do I think pretty good in that. Plus, unlike old Nintendo and Genesis times, games will span many multiple generations. They'll port a PS3 game to PS4 and PS5 and have a special edition, and then it comes on Steam and PC.
Yeah.
So it keeps rolling.
Yeah.
Are there any video game properties that you think would be funny as a IP and TV or movie that hasn't been done yet?
It's tricky with video games. It's like it's interesting because by their nature, like a lot of them don't have a story. Like Sonic the Hedgehog. Have you seen the movies?
Yeah, I think they're funny. I like them. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like them too. I've only seen the first one,
Mhm.
but like obviously the first one is like nothing to do with the video game, right? It's like he's Sonic. He came from that world, but now he's in our world. So now it's kind of a fish out of the water buddy movie, which is like, in theory, you could do that with any character.
Yeah.
That didn't even have to be
It's
connected to
Elf
Sonic.
at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which is a good thing because you don't want to be too beholden to like the complicated whatever the mythology of a video game. If it's as someone is telling me the other day, it's like video game writing is like lyrics in a song. Like it's like the music is what's important, and you kind of add the lyrics just because you need a singer to sing something.
Totally, yeah.
So it's like video game, it's the gameplay, and then you add the story just to kind of give the gameplay some structure.
Yeah.
But it's really not. But movies inherently are driven by the story first, or at least they used to be. And so now it's like, yeah, you just can come up with it. So really, I guess that's another way of saying like I would get excited by like certain. Like I always like Toe Jam and Earl. I was actually approached by a company about developing a Toe Jam and Earl show. I would be more excited to do a movie just because those aliens are cool looking and fun, and the tone of that it could be fun. You could, like you said, or like we were saying, you could do anything. You could have those characters come to Earth, or Earthlings come to their world, or whatever. So it's like really about like whatever has the coolest like mythology and iconography. That would be exciting. I'm trying to think of other exampls.
No, that's a great one.
What about you?
Metroid could be cool, but that would be difficult because Metroid's all about being alone, so where does dialogue come from?
Yeah. Oh, because Ridley is like always alone in those games.
Pretty much, yeah. It's all about being isolated on that planet, and but that'd be cool. I know what's her name who did Captain Marvel. She's pushing to be Ridley.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's one of the last like major Nintendo properties that's never really been made in anything, right?
Yeah, Donkey Kong is next. They
Yeah, but Donkey Kong was in the Mario movie, as a character, and then I know there's a Zelda movie coming out.
I'm terrified of that one. Terrified.
They did a Castlevania show, right?
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic.
I've never seen it. Okay.
And you haven't seen it?
And then, yeah. No.
I highly recommend it. You don't need to know anything about Castlevania or video games to love it.
Okay.
It's fantastic.
And then, yeah, so Metroid is, I don't think, has there ever been anything like a show, an anime show, anything?
No.
Yeah, there you go.
I thought it'd be funny that a lot of people, I don't know if you've ever heard of Fantasy Zone, or do you remember Space Harrier? It was an arcade game.
Sounds familiar.
Flew around. If you saw a video of it, you'd probably remember it from being an arcade. But Fantasy Zone, there's a lot of those games share the same universe as Space Harrier, and I thought that would be a funny thing to do. But not many people, like, what are we making movies for 50-plus-year-olds now? You know what I mean? Like, kids don't remember this stuff.
Yeah, I know. That's another thing is you got to, I mean, that's why Minecraft was so huge, because it's just like everybody in the last 10 years has played Minecraft of all age ranges. I really like the other game I just thought of. I just Googled it because I was like, what is the story of this game? Was Metal Slug.
Oh, remember yeah, Metal I love Slug? That game. Yeah, that was just a Game Club game recently.
That was a what?
Game Club game for this podcast recently.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the story, I don't know what the movie would be because I don't remember what the story of that game was. I know you're like you're soldiers and stuff and it's a side scroller, but I just remember like playing it fairly recently, being like, wow, I love the vibe of this game. Like
That
the
pixel art is
look, the
beautiful. Yeah.
characters. Yeah, just it's like cartoony, but it's not. I don't know. That game's oh, I really like I tried to I didn't when I say try, I mean I wrote a document up and sent it to a friend. But I tried to pitch the idea of a gauntlet movie.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, because it's like you could just do that kind of hardcore, violent, like I kept thinking about like that movie The Raid, where it's like you just kind of treat the run through the dungeon as like a just all in one night, like, you know, style battle game as opposed to like Dungeons and Dragons, which was sort of this kind of questy kind of thing.
Yeah.
You just treat it like a hardcore action movie with those four characters. I thought that would be
So you
awesome.
pitched that?
I wrote a document for it, and then I think I had my friend look to see who had the rights, and it was kind of one of those things where it was like whoever had the rights, you know, it was like not going to be an easy thing to do. I
Yeah.
think it maybe a big studio already had it, so it was kind of like, what's the point?
Yeah.
I should look back into that because honestly, the as I say this on a podcast, I should really do that. Like no one else will jump on that idea. But it you know you need to kind of these days with studio movies, you kind of need to get the IP first and then figure out like what kind of story do I want to tell and kind of mesh those two things together, you know, instead of like trying to come up with an original fantasy action movie, like good luck, you know.
Oh, yeah. 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 I was thinking back in conversation, maybe that's why Muppets, that latest Muppets TV show that was in the office style didn't work is like, because I thought that was so funny, but it might be because I'm old and I grew up with the Muppets.
Yeah. The Muppets are a weird thing. They just have not been able to break back through culturally.
Everything they've done, I think, has been fantastic too. It's really strange.
Yeah, I mean the first of the new movies that Jason Segel was in, I think that was obviously successful enough where they did a second one, but then the second one clearly wasn't successful enough to reignite that franchise. And then they keep doing shows every few years. But yeah, I don't.
It
People
just,
just
yeah,
don't.
and it just doesn't take. It's
Do your kids care about the Muppets?
no, not at all. No.
Yeah,
And I tried
it's
to.
weird.
Do you know?
Yeah,
Do you remember or know BK Taylor?
yeah. I
He,
mean, I know that name. Yeah.
he's old friends with your dad, and he's an old friend of mine. Taylor for Tim Taylor, he created Tool Time, but he was on this podcast a long time ago. He created Dr. Teeth in the Muppets.
Really?
Yeah, and yeah, on this podcast, he tells the story of how it's the first time that a Muppet had teeth at all.
Uh-huh.
And so, getting it to Jim, because he worked in Jim's office, it was like, Jim's office was right next to his. And they're all like, he's not going to go for this. He's going to be insulted. And he brought it in and interrupted a meeting between Jim Henson and Steve Martin. So Steve Martin was there for the whole invention of Dr.
Whoa.
Teeth. Yeah, just wild.
Wow. That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah. He still talks about the Comedy Castle, though. It's good times
did he
for him.
perform
Yeah.
there?
Huh?
Did he perform there?
He was just there. He was like, I think he like grew up with Tim or something. And then, so he was there
Okay.
all the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I don't even remember where the Muppets was produced.
In New
Wasn't
York.
it in England?
In New York.
Oh, in New York?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow. So he like was like younger, like moved out of Michigan.
Moved out of
and worked
Michigan
there?
for a little bit. Yeah. And then he got on the Muppets before it really hit big. And he, told me a story once that I forget which Muppet person it was, but he ran into them while he was on a trip to like, Palm Springs or something. And, the guy was talking about how he's like, yeah, I'm not really working. And BK was, just thinking like, God, I got to find this guy work. Like he was so talented. And then the guy went on to be like, because I have like my house in Paris and my house in LA and my house in New York. And it's just keeping, he didn't leave the show like BK did. And he was just mad rich from it.
Oh, he got mad rich from just working on the Muppets?
Yeah. All those guys did. They, Jim Henson, I think, did a Bob Seger type thing where they just kind of all shared the wealth.
What?
Yeah. So sorry.
Oh my
yeah.
God,
Total
that's
tangent. Yeah.
amazing. Yeah. No, that's incredible. I mean, look, those days are over.
Yeah, well, I
I think
mean,
those days I think those days are over for like anyone who works on a show but doesn't create a show or a thing like an entertainment kind of IP, you know? I don't know. I was just saying this the other day. Maybe, maybe not. I just don't think anything can get as big as the Muppets or the
because there's
Simpsons or
so
Star
much.
Wars, Yeah, I mean, I'm talking like brand new things, not
Yeah,
things that are already owned by companies.
yeah.
Like everything's going to get, there's going to be 1,000 iterations of like Marvel stuff and Star Wars and video games that are all owned by companies. But like, can you imagine a new thing created by somebody that comes out and like, I mean, I'm biased, but I keep saying like I think Rick and Morty might be the last like major new franchise that like has cultural relevance to that scale.
It might be. It came out like at the perfect time. It had the perfect humor for the time. Yeah, you might not be wrong with that.
Yeah, because even like new Fox shows, you mentioned Crapopolis, which I did a voice on, or maybe a couple voices, but like that show, it's a Fox animated sitcom, and I don't know how much it's broken through, but I think it's on its like fourth season. It's just, back in the day, every new Fox animated show you were at least aware of because it's like in the wake of The Simpsons and Family Guy, like this opportunity to become another one of those. So you were kind of aware of the ones that were coming out, and most of them didn't go anywhere, but like it's just crazy that we live in a time where like these things like like a thing comes out and it's like a tree falling in the forest.
Yeah, it is wild. It is wild. I mean, you have entire dinner parties of just people talking about what they've been watching, and no one's watching the same thing, and everyone's annoyed at all the recommendations they're getting.
Yeah, and there's also I mean, there's also that thing of like, oh, have you seen The Devil's Butler? And it's like, no, and it's like, oh, it's great. It's on Epics, and I'm like, what the is Epics? How do I find that? It's like, and then unfortunately, yeah, because of that reason, it might be great, but no one's going to watch it.
Yeah, yeah. Now for the hardball questions.
Uh-oh.
So, do you only keep your LA flat to get good prices on adrenochrome because they don't ship out of state? Or I'm trying to
I
get our
told you
listeners
not to talk about this.
into the Hollywood.
I told you not to ask me about this. This is a real blindside.
I'm sorry.
No, no. The fact is, once you're in the Illuminati, you get the lifetime discount.
Oh, wow. Is that like a card?
Yeah,
An adreno card?
it's a tattoo. It's a microchip.
A tramp stamp? Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's like a QR
sorry I had to
code.
go low there. But this is hard hitting podcasting.
Yeah.
Didn't you have
No,
a podcast for a while?
yeah, the Grandma's Virginity podcast that was from 2010 to I think we kind of petered off around 2013, but we were like pretty early. Like if we had sustained that, we could have probably um I don't know, could have probably grown into something bigger. We had a great fan base, but then the show started around the same time and they're just like I don't know, like we're not multitaskers, I guess. So
Yeah, man. I mean, that was really early for podcasting. I do agree that had you kept that going, that could have been a money factory.
yeah, yeah, no,
Kind of like Paul
we
Scheer's
like
thing. I mean, all his
yeah.
podcasts.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it was like I think the only podcast that like I'm not saying it was before Joe Rogan, it might have not been, but Joe Rogan wasn't like a big deal. But like I
Mhm.
remember Mark Maron's podcast was the one that was like the biggest podcast at that time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And now I mean I always tell this story because it's such a I mean, I don't even know what category to put the story in. Like, I guess the category of like short-sightedness, but we went into our agents' offices to meet about trying to figure out what they could do with the podcast. And they literally laughed us out of the office. Like, a podcast? What? I thought we were here to talk about making money. And to think about it now, it's almost like if we came in with a TV show or a movie, they'd be like, ugh, they'd laugh us out and be like, I thought we were going to talk about money. Let's talk podcast, baby.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you make money now. It's so crazy that's like topsy turvy world.
I mean, it's so cliche that you'd be like, these people in these suits, they have no idea, these executives. But, you know, you tell stories like that and it's like, well, a lot of the times that's true. They really don't know. There's another podcast I listen to. It's a very big podcast about, you know, by a person who's been in the video games industry since the early 90s. And, yeah, he talks about going, you know, his boss stopping, I think he worked at GameStop, one of those video game outlets. And, his boss had him stop their podcast because it was getting too much traction and taken away from everything else. It's like, no, if something's becoming popular, nourish it.
Yeah.
Monetize it.
Yeah. It's wild. I mean, I also always talk about, because I remember back in the day when I was doing stand-up, you said, like, do you remember this? You were like, oh, let me help you try to get your stand-up online or something.
I vaguely, that sounds like a nerdy thing I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I remember, not that I was like, oh, what's the point? I was kind of more like, I don't even understand. Like, okay, great. You put stand up online, then who watches it? How do you watch it? Where does it go? And that was like right before Dan Cook's popularity exploded from like putting his stuff on, I think, like MySpace or something.
Yeah. Arch Barker too. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just so weird to think about that was like a quaint idea back then, you know, like now, once again, like stand-ups are so huge because their stuff could be online or they have a podcast, and it's just like they could go from nothing to a giant star within a very short period of time, that back in the day it would take years of kind of building your act and traveling like old timey style, like going from town to town with your wares, and maybe one of these days someone from Hollywood will notice you. Now you could throw a clip of like you just, you know, ad-libbing, doing crowd work like Matt Rife or whatever, and like blow up and a month become a millionaire.
Exactly. Yeah. And, you know, do you know Twitch? Is this a stupid question to ask? Does everyone know Twitch? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, before being a musician, you would have to go from town to town or be on a street corner or something. And now, you know, I use it to watch people play video games. You know, I have it on at work because I crave the nostalgia of sitting at my friend's house and passing the controller back and forth. And so that's what I use Twitch for. I get in the smaller retro channels and just kind of have it on in the background, maybe chat every once in a while. But these people are using it for, like you said, the music, comedy. People use it for D&D, you know, or they'll just DJ on it. It's awesome.
Yeah, the D&D thing is crazy how that's become a huge, like people who, I don't know, like what are those like famous ones, like yeah, you know, like those famous shows on YouTube. They're like they play D&D live, or they play it on YouTube or Twitch or, you know, whatever.
Yeah,
and then they do like stadium tours.
Yeah, that's nuts. Who would have thought? Yeah. Different times.
Yeah, I know. And it's, you know, it's, I don't know, but like I said earlier, as everybody else is, you know, blasting into the future, I'm kind of like, I don't know, man. I'm getting to the phase of life where I'm more than happy to just like watch birds during the day and stars at night and connect to the real world, man.
Touch grass.
Yeah. Oh, I want to like live in the grass.
So my last question is, it's from your IMDb, and I only noticed it today, not that your IMDb isn't like the background of my computer or something. It's only today I've been watching it. But what is Robot Dracula?
Robot Dracula?
Yeah, you have a credit coming up.
Oh man, this is a funny story. So I was at my friend's movie premiere. I guess it wasn't really the premiere, but it was a screening of this movie Companion, which my friend Drew Hancock wrote and directed, and I was an executive producer on. And I was at the festival screening of it, and after the movie ended, we're like milling about outside, and this guy's like, "Hey, can I film a quick cameo of you in my movie? It's also got," and he rattles off like a bunch of famous people's names, like John Landis, and I kind of was like, it was this weird moment of like being caught off guard and also not really knowing what this was and wanting to be polite. And he's just like, "It'll take 2 seconds. All you got to do is like say whatever the line is. Look, there's Robot Dracula." And so I was like, okay. So I'm standing outside in front of this movie theater, and he's got his phone, and he just has me do that one take. And he's like, "Great, thanks." And I was like, okay, so there's going to be some movie.
It's in your IMDb.
I know, because I'm sure he quickly went and entered it into IMDb, but I don't know where.
Wow.
I might have
I thought I
really.
was going to ask you a question and you would be like, "Oh, I'm glad you asked. It's my new thing I'm working on." So what? Because it
No.
has all these people in it, so he probably just cornered all these people.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
Exactly.
That
Yeah.
that's
I.
crazy.
Yeah. I don't know why I agreed to it. I mean, it's funny, yeah, it's like, and also like, because who knows what this thing? Speaking of adrenochrome, like, what this guy could be, this movie, Robot Dracula, could be a metaphor for something I don't want to be a
Oh,
part of. You know what I mean?
let's see. It doesn't have a real description here. So, well,
Well, I
good
think
luck. I
Robot
hope you don't
Dracula
get
says it all.
canceled. Hope you don't get canceled for that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I mean, now I have the benefit of saying like, hey, man, that was AI. Come on, that was
Yeah,
Google
I would never do that.
VO. Yeah.
So, this podcast is a game club, like a book club. Is there a video game you would like our listeners to play and then write in? They write in every week and talk about playing the video game. Is there one from your past that you'd love people to revisit?
Man, that's a good question. One from my past.
I almost want
What's
to
a
say
video
Gauntlet since
game?
you mentioned that you pitched it.
Oh, no. This is my go-to. This is the one arcade game that whenever I'm at an arcade, I'm like halfway decent at.
Hmm.
Uh, Tapper.
Tapper, nice. Yeah, that's a great
You
one.
know Tapper, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Tapper, of course, made famous as the bartender in the movie Wreck-It Ralph.
Hmm.
That Ralph, one of my favorite movies, speaking of video games, that Ralph goes to talk to about his troubles.
Hmm.
I grew up at my dad's comedy club where they had root beer tapper, which is, I think, like the version that they have for like Disneyland or anywhere there's going to be kids. That
Yeah.
doesn't like encourage underage
Yeah, it's
drinking.
not the Budweiser sponsored one.
Yeah, but I'm all about the OG Budweiser sponsored. I am so good at that game. I can get to the last level. I don't think I can beat the alien level
Hmm.
because it goes like regular like dirtbag bar, like hole in the wall dive bar, to like a sports stadium where you're like serving athletes and fans, to a punk rock bar, to an alien bar. I believe
Yeah, yeah.
and then I think it starts over again. Maybe, I don't remember.
No, that's a great pick.
Yeah, I love it. It's really it's it forces you to have to multitask. It's very like tactile, like the little tapper thing you have to do.
It's
Great.
fast paced too. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a game that like plays well at home. I think you need to be able to hit that like bar tap thing. So go to your
No, it's
local.
fine. No, it's fine.
Really?
It works fine at home. Yeah. There are some great
I mean,
ports
it
of it.
works fine, but it's just not the same. It's like because a controller can't emulate that feeling of hitting a tap like that.
No, I
I
know.
just waved my hand for the listeners.
Yeah.
Flailed my hand like I was quickly pouring beers.
No, I love it.
that game.
Well, thank you so much for spending time on the podcast, and it's
Thank
been
you
great
for having
catching
me.
up.
Yeah, absolutely. You too.
All right. Thank you so much, Ryan, for the interview. It was so great catching up, and hope I edited out everything I needed to. And yeah, so good times. So, all right, shall we do some game club?
Yeah, let's go into game club. Do you want me to take Rhyme Writer Kerorican?
Yes, I'm so glad you are the one to pronounce that. It was Bovine Divine from last episode's pick.
All right. Yeah, so he picked Rhyme Writer Kerorican, released in 2000 for the Wonder Swan Color, developed by Nana An Shah.
Thank you for being the one to pronounce that as well.
And yeah, that developer also made the Parappa the Rapper games and Jammer Lammy. So I've never played any of those. This is the first game I've played by them, I believe.
Oh, you've never played Parappa?
No, I'm familiar with it, but I've never actually played it.
It's a difficult one. It's very touchy on the timing. Like
this?
Yeah, exactly. So I'd be interested to see how emulating it goes. Like, I don't know, maybe with the playhead emulation, it could be better. But I remember 10 years ago emulating it, and emulators were not up to that kind of precision yet. But sorry, go on.
What generation is that? Is it like
PS1?
PS1?
PS1,
okay.
yeah.
Should be able to emulate it. But so I'd never heard of it before until Bovine Divine mentioned it. And then while I was preparing for this episode, it looked so weird, I had to play it. So I found a ROM. The gameplay is all slanted 45 degrees, which is just a weird choice for a handheld, but I love it. Mm-hmm. It's a rhythm game. I think it's the first rhythm game I may have ever played. I'm not sure. You play I think it's a girl in a frog suit. She just walks along to some music. It's really cool music too. And you need to hop, skip, jump, and kick your way past various creatures and obstacles by tapping buttons or button combinations at exactly the right time. Mm-hmm. It is very unforgiving with the timing, although I have nothing to compare it to because I've never played a rhythm game before.
And also, is it more difficult because you had to emulate it and timing could be weird?
It's possible. That's very possible. So I did read before I did anything else, and I heard that there was something weird about the timing. And so I did this ROM patch that somebody recommended, and I didn't see any difference between the patched and unpatched. I had to look up the directions in English because there's no way to figure out how to play this game otherwise.
Yep.
But I ended up playing with one hand on a control pad and one hand on the keyboard because the Wonder Swan has two sets of directional buttons. They call them the X 1 through 4 and Y 1 through 4. And I don't have that on my gamepad that I use for emulation. So I was using the keyboard for the Y and the gamepad for X and like the A and B buttons. So I was like, it was working out though. It wasn't that difficult. So I think I could have mapped the controller because you don't need every single button either. I could have mapped the controller buttons to have, I don't know, like the left trigger be Y1 or something. That probably would work. But it's for the emulator I have, it's global, and I didn't want to mess up every other game that I play. Although I don't play any other Wonder Swans games. Yeah. So anyways, depending on the things that you need to get past, you press a certain button or button combinations at just the right time. I found it's called the Daifuku burger. It's like the blue circle with the spinning arms. That was the hardest one for me to time. No matter how much I played, I always had trouble with that one. And then there was something called a kamameshi. It's like the spinning flower thing. Mm-hmm. That was a little bit difficult to time, but once I got the hang of that one, it wasn't that much of a problem. And I didn't make it far enough to see some of the other ones. Like apparently there's something called an orca and a shampoo bomb, but I didn't get that far yet.
Well, there was, I linked a video in here that I used. Somebody put English translation over the text in the video. There's, like you said, there's no translation pack. So this definitely helped me, and it also made me feel like a very bad gamer because they did very good in it. I think they got all the way through.
Nice.
But other than what you said, Nana on Shah's first game was in 1996 for the Apple Pippin. So they're really making good decisions with their popular game systems.
Right.
And yeah, this had Space Channel 5 plus Parappa vibes, kind of a walking sim, Katamari-like graphics, which, we got announced a new Katamari game, which I'm very excited for, by the way. And just some notes on the Wonder Swan. It was 16-bit kind of in 1999, 2 years before the 32-bit GBA, but it sounded like CD quality sound. Even in this game, I thought it sounded like it could be Redbook audio. That's what I thought.
I thought it was pretty low bit rate, but I liked it. It was really cool.
It just felt clear. You know what I mean? I don't know. It felt like it was definitely, I don't know. It felt almost better than Super Nintendo.
I think it was better than Super Nintendo because Super Nintendo is very muffled.
Yeah.
But this felt like it just felt like low bitrate samples, almost like kind of FM radio quality. But it was fine. Like not a complaint. I really like the music in it.
Yeah. Really high quality stuff. And the OG WonderSwan got 40 hours on one AA battery.
That's
and
crazy.
The WonderSwan Color got 20 hours, which is still great. The WonderSwan runs on a 186 variant, which is either 3 or 6 megahertz compared to the GBA 17 megahertz ARM a few years later. And that's actually a weird licensed 186 that has some 286 and NEC instructions in it. So it's a weird 16-bit CPU with a 20-bit address bus. This feels... I mean, when you don't have the two side by side, the WonderSwan feels as good as the GBA, but then, you pull up Metroid Fusion or something, and I don't think the WonderSwan could get even close to that. But pretty impressive. It's a system. Did you ever pay attention to the WonderSwan at all?
No, I only heard about it probably in the last, 6-7 years.
Me too. Yeah. I had no idea it existed. I probably read about it in magazines when it was released and just thought, I'm never going to see that thing, and just stopped thinking about it,
So I'm still hung up on the 40 hours and 20 hours on one AA battery. I didn't even think, I would have thought that the circuitry would have been 3 volts at least. I mean, maybe it's jumping the voltage up, but
this is all Wikipedia. So Who knows?
It's true then.
But
don't question it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's according to Wikipedia. But, if any of our listeners knows anything about the WonderSwan and has, gone through at least one AA battery, please let us know. Email at retrogameclub.net.
I did have like 2 more things I wanted to say about it. I really did enjoy the game and I want to play it more. But I was so confused by the health meter. It seems like it goes like up and down. I know the candy increases it, but it was not clear to me how much it could decrease. Every time I was like, ooh, I got like 1 hit left, and then I would get like 3 more hits and still be fine. So it wasn't clear to me. But because the timing is so difficult, I would have gladly traded half that health bar for like an extra frame or 2 of leeway on the timing.
Agreed. Yeah. I definitely think you spent more time than me on it. I was getting frustrated with it. It was one of those games I wanted to like, and if it was in English, I probably would have. Because even after watching the Japanese translation, I without that in real time, I just wasn't doing it. But do you think you would spend any more time with this game?
Oh yeah, I plan on it actually.
Oh, that's cool.
It was just weird and fun, and it tickled something in my brain. So
do you think it's going to open up more WonderSwan for you?
I don't know. I would look through the catalog and see if something jumps out. Maybe Bovine Divine can make some more recommendations.
Yeah, please do. He will be back on the show doing because I'll be traveling in a month, and so we're recording some extra episodes, and he'll be doing I think we agreed on FM Towns episode, so you have that to look forward to.
Oh, nice.
Any more on this game that I will not pronounce?
That is it for me.
Yeah. Okay. My weird game club pick for the PC Engine, Gomola Speed. This is a snake-like game that's much more complex than that. You have to get all your body parts, which are spheres that are just kind of rolling or bouncing around. The very well-designed stages that take up more than just a screen. And you have to eat all the food and get to the exit, which is more difficult than it sounds. Once your body's long enough, you could wrap your body around food for points. And you could surround an enemy with your body, which is also more difficult than it sounds, to stun them. And then you drop bombs out of the rear, the last ball of your body. And the only way you could die is a headshot. Getting hit in any other part just, removes, that part of that segment and all the segments behind you. And you have to gather those again. And that includes your own bombs. You could hurt yourself, your body, your head with your own bombs. So you got to look out for that. And there's a high speed button, which gains you points more quickly.
Oh, I totally missed that.
And there is this is the first time I've used Google Lens to translate a manual, and it worked pretty well. I wish there was a mode. This is in Chrome, not on my phone. I've used Lens, or at least Translate in my phone with like pictures and stuff, but this was the new Chrome feature where you press the button and then select the area. And I couldn't find a way to have it just overlay over. I would have rather that, but it gives you more of like a Chat GPT style readout.
Lens does the overlay, right? Like it kind of matches the.
That's what I was trying to do.
Stuff,
in
right?
Chrome,
it
wouldn't do it. So maybe there's a setting I have to set or something like that, or a button I didn't see. But it was just bringing it off to the side and it was just text on a black background. And the manual is bright and colorful and cool, and it definitely helps reading that first, especially since the game's in Japanese. But this is not a game you need to know Japanese for. It's a Snake game, and it's fun. I would highly recommend it. Great sprites, great background, fantastic music. Like any PC Engine game, fantastic sounding music too. This is possibly the first Retro Game Club game that did not have a Wikipedia page. And this is the first PC Engine game that I used the actual Hue card to play on the Analog Pocket.
Oh, nice. Nice. With the adapter?
Yes, exactly. And let's see. Yeah, this is 1990 by UPL, which really didn't do anything else of note. Did you get a chance to mess with this one?
I did. I didn't like it as much as you did. I agree, graphics and sound look great, as with most PC Engine games that I've seen. I had trouble surrounding the food to eat it, which okay, I know it's a game, but it sounds dumb to encircle food to eat it. Like,
yeah.
But anyways, I couldn't do the circle motion fast enough to do it reliably. And like I had to have all the body segments in order to do it. And then, it would constantly, I'd blow myself up with a bomb, or one of the enemies would cut me in half or whatever. So it was kind of frustrating, and it hurt my hands a lot to play it. So I didn't I didn't get past stage 2, but I didn't take note that stage 2 was a little more intricate, and that it had multiple screens. You unlock different areas. It seems like maybe there was like an area that was all food, and then an area that was all enemies, and you had to get a key in each one. So I don't know. It looked interesting.
Yeah,
but, I don't think it was
stage 2 really opened up almost, I want to say, like Gauntlet-like scenarios.
Totally seemed like Gauntlet. Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you listen to this podcast, you'll know, like I've been really into Kicks-likes, and I guess now Snake-likes games, because this made me want to play more of those. So, yeah, I enjoyed this one. That I do think I would have enjoyed the other game more had it been in English. Even the parts of that game where you didn't really need to know English, because it's popping up. Did it? See, it's been 2 weeks now since I played Rhyme Riders, but when you had to jump, did it prompt you the right button?
No,
that was my.
You had to memorize the manual essentially.
Yeah, that was my biggest problem with that game.
Right. Yeah, I spent a long time trying to figure out what to do at first. I was like, how hard can it be? There's only so many buttons, but it turns out there's a lot more buttons.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Well, cool. What do you want to pick next?
Okay, so I had previously picked Ninja Gaiden 2 because I was psyched for Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, which I don't know. We'll see. I'm not giving up on that yet, but I'm not loving it. So I'm also looking forward to the Gradius Collection, which I think is out already. I just don't have it yet, because there's a new game in the series there, Salamander 3. I don't know if you remember that announcement. Yeah. So I'm going to pick Salamander or Life Force. They're kind of the same game. Salamander for the TurboGrafx 16, or Life Force for the NES. Life Force is one I played a whole bunch as a kid. That's a great game. Salamander I've only played through once. I should play it again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I get these are nostalgic games for me. And If you are on Twitch, there is someone I watch almost daily. Well, he's on kind of in a little window while I'm working. His name is Sin_stream, which is SYN stream. And right now he is speedrunning Life Force.
Oh, nice.
And it's nice and chill. There's usually only like 20 people in there. So it's really chill. And
how do you speed run an auto-scrolling shoot? I guess you just get the bosses really fast?
You get, there's really like crazy boss manips. And
okay. I got to write this down. What's the name again?
SYN, I think it's _stream.
Okay.
Sin stream. And he usually starts in a few hours for me, so I don't think it would be too late for you.
Okay, I'll just watch one of his old videos too. That's fine.
Oh.
There is a ZX Spectrum port of I want to say Nemesis. That's not it. Salamander. But I looked at it and tried to play it a little bit. I would not recommend that. But you can play the TurboGrafx 16 version of Salamander on archive.org, and I will put a link to that in the show notes.
Nice. Yeah, I have the PC Engine one, so I'll be playing that.
Nice.
In fact,
Great.
I already have been playing that. It was one of the reasons why I really am glad we had a lot of notes for this episode, because I played our current week Game Club games like right away. I often play them before I pick them to make sure I'm not picking.
Makes sense.
Yeah, an actual dud, which I think I did with Gomola Speed. I can't remember, but I have Life Force on the brain right now. So
Nice. Excellent. Yeah, that's great.
And
what are you
then
going to pick
Ryan
next?
Ridley picked Tapper.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And he said because at his dad's comedy club, his dad, for people who don't know, his dad is Mark Ridley, which is a infamous comedy club in the Detroit area where like Tim Allen and really many other, I think even like Keegan-Michael Key, pretty much all the non-Detroit, those two are Detroit, but all the non-Detroit comedians from the 90s rolled through there and would spend a lot of time there. So his dad runs that very reputable place, and he had a Tapper machine there. So
nice.
He grew up playing it there.
So it's reputable because you said it was infamous.
It's both.
Okay. Great.
Reputable because you'll go there and have a great time. Infamous because of its history. How about that?
Okay. I'll have to look into that more.
And if you've played Life Force, Tapper, Rhyme Rider, whatever the third word is, Gomola Speed, if you have any comments on anything Ryan has worked on, especially the really random stuff that we talked about, you should go look at some of his early work with like Sarah Silverman and stuff like that, cool stuff. If you play this SNES, I'm going to call it. If you play East Collection on the X68000, or if you somehow play this fake Weird Al game, please email us. Email at retrogameclub.net. That is email at retrogameclub.net. Get on the Discord, get on our socials, give us some feedback. And we have some good stuff this week.
Yeah. Bovine Divine, who was on the last show, he writes in and he says that he's catching up on the show and has some responses to the latest questions regarding what's the furthest or longest you've played an arcade game on a single credit. He was having fun at a Chuck E. Cheese birthday party, his Chuck E. Cheese birthday party, when he was around 11 years old and running low on quarters towards the end of the night. By the way, it's all time-based now. I don't know if you've been recently.
Oh,
you just
yeah,
get a card,
it's so
you get a
strange.
card. It's not even real arcade games anymore.
Yeah.
But he jumped onto his favorite arcade games, one of his favorite arcade games, which was a sit-down Sinistar cab. Nice that you could sit down for that. Growing up, he could never blow up more than 3 or 4 sections of a Sinistar before losing all of his lives. However, on this fateful night, the coding bug gods were smiling upon him, for as he was twisting and turning around, trying to catch the tiny crystals to get Cinnabombs, on his last life, the roar of Sinistar echoed in the cabinet, and his nemesis made a beeline towards his ship. He was ready to accept defeat and move on to the next game, but as his ship spiraled towards Sinistar's metal gullet, one of the drones shot him, and suddenly the extra lives counter was scrolling like crazy. He had what seemed to be infinite lives and no idea what happened. The game started over with a new ship and was playing normally. After the next few deaths, he realized some glitch had occurred and he could play one of his favorite games in his favorite cab the rest of the night. But as fate would have it, closing time was near. He did get to spend 20 to 30 minutes playing the game, letting his friends take a turn at trying to take down Sinistar. And because of that amazing experience, it's still one of the main reasons why he still loves that game to this day.
That's awesome. And I thought you said Cinnabons instead of...
I was going to say something like, not Cinnabons, Cinnabons. I guess you collect these little, like, it's, a couple of pixels maybe.
Yeah, the only time I've seen that sit-down cab is at Galloping Ghost, and I didn't know it existed before that.
Yeah. So he also has a console purchase story. He says that during the lead up to the North American PlayStation Portable launch, he got suckered in by the marketing hype, and he was so enamored by the sleek black slab of tech that he had worked himself into a fevered pitch in anticipation of the release of the new handheld. He was so sure it was going to be the most amazing system that he was certain it would be impossible to get on launch day. So he pre-ordered it from Best Buy and GameStop, the latter of which had the ridiculous requirement to buy a bundle of games to secure the system on launch day. In hindsight, he might have slightly overrated the system, but he loves handhelds. I do too, by the way. And then it turns out that no retailers offered midnight launches, which probably should have been a clue to the reality of the situation. Yet he was undeterred. Best Buy was opening early at 8 a.m. to fill pre-orders, and his GameStop order was being delivered to work later that day. Just in case Best Buy sold out from the massive crowd that would undoubtedly be camping out there, he woke up early and headed over at 7 a.m. to fight his way through the crowd of 3 parked cars and no one in line. There wasn't even a table set up to handle the pre-orders. So one short card nap later, he shuffled his way up to the store 2 minutes before opening and sheepishly picked up his launch day PSP. None of that mattered as he raced home to plug it in and power it up to enjoy the Spider-Man movie on that glorious widescreen. And it was everything that had been built up in his mind, which that's what really matters, right? It met his expectations.
Absolutely, yeah. I love that system.
He hadn't grabbed any games for it at Best Buy since there were going to be 5 waiting for him at work later, which I can't believe that they made him pre-order 5 games.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. When he got to work and cracked open the box waiting for him, he was amazed as he booted up each game and marveled at the powerhouse system that the PSP was. Ridge Racer, Wipeout, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater were especially eye-popping with their near PS2 quality graphics, sounds, and smooth gameplay. Luminous and Darkstalkers were amazing games in their own right. And this console launch not only met, but actually exceeded his lofty expectations and will forever be remembered despite the tepid response from the masses. Furthermore, everyone at work was just as amazed with the system, stopping by his desk to check it out. I would have been fired if I was playing games, right? But here, the CEO was especially enamored by the video quality and ended up buying the spare PSP off of him for showing company product presentations. The CEO also bought the 512 megabyte memory stick Pro Duo that was part of the mandatory bundle from GameStop, which that was like super overpriced memory, if memory serves me correctly. Even better when he left the company many years later, as he was cleaning out his work area, he found that exact same PSP that he had sold to the CEO, who didn't even remember what it was and just gave it back to him, which is very on brand for CEOs in my experience.
Yes.
Not all of them, but most of them. It was in perfect working condition and is one of his backup PSP units still to this day, which begs the question, how many PSP backup units does one need?
Yeah. Well, I guess their batteries do bulge, so you got to look out for that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I actually have a work PSP story I just remembered. So
Nice.
I had the silver one. I want to say, I thought it was the Assassin's Creed Yeah, it was the Assassin's Creed model, I'm pretty sure, but I also had Gex with it. So I don't know if I got Gex with it too somehow. Anyway.
With a forced GameStop bundle?
No, because so I worked at this company that they worked everyone so hard, but it truly was fun. It was one of those places where I won't get into that, but I had a really cool boss who was the director of technology, and for no reason at all, they hired a VP of technology from outside the company, and this guy was a dingbat. He was one of the dumbest people. And I wouldn't say if he was a good person and a kind person, I wouldn't dog on him, but I don't,
Some people are asking for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he did not deserve that title. In fact, I don't think he had that title ever again. Anyway, he was one of those guys, where it's like my boss, the director, kept doing everything and the VP would just kind of sit there. Anyway, the VP was looking for morale boosts, and he, kind of didn't realize, he didn't read the room that he was part of the reason why morale was not the best. And I came up with an idea of, like, hey, I know we're not allowed to give out bonuses, but what if, because we bought a bunch of technology stuff for the company anyway, through Newegg, and this would have been in 2007, 8, something like that, where iPods were really popular, the DS was happening, the PSP was happening. So I found 4 different things on Newegg that were around the same price, which was an iPod, a PSP, and a DS, because I didn't want a reward to be something someone already had. So I tried to pick 4 things that, not one person would likely have in their 20s who weren't being paid well. None of us got paid well. Anyway, I got that approved and ordered all this stuff. And knowing that I was like already killing it in line, like almost first in line for a reward. So the PSP was mine. The TLDR is the PSP was mine. And that's how I got it. Anyway, you want to take the next one and then I'll take the next few?
Sure. Hughes writes in, for context, in the last episode, you and Bovine Divine had said something along the lines of Hughes must be an awesome gamer if he can one credit Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, because there was that feedback. So Hughes says in response to that, the AI in Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 is very dumb. You can clear most of it by spamming a couple of moves. The bosses take a little bit more effort though. Which that kind of soils my memories of owning at Mortal Kombat 2. So I was pretty good with Molina. Thanks a lot, Hughes. He also weighs in on wanting to hear about common games versus obscure ones. That's the poll you were talking about. Mm-hmm. For playing along, he prefers common games, preferably ones on multiple consoles. He also likes learning about new to him games, but probably won't play them. Then he says, almost verbatim what I had told you, which is neither of those opinions should matter. If you cover what you're interested in, it'll make for a better show.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he finishes off with which was what's going to be our next listener feedback question. I think we can repeat it again later, but he's got a good idea here that when he thought of while working on an upcoming article, so look out for that. He asks, what are the most RF boxes you've daisy chained together? So if you had multiple consoles, you had that black box that hooked up to the back of your TV, you turned it to channel 3 or 4, and you could string them together. You couldn't turn more than one on. I think if you turned on the one that was closest to the TV, that was the one that would win, right?
Yeah.
So he says he had one. He had an Intellivision, an NES, and a Genesis all daisy chained to channel 3. Mm-hmm. So I personally was lucky and had an old, huge, bulky CRT. I was handed down from my grandparents, and the kids. We just had it behind the couch upstairs, and that was dedicated for the computer and gaming. So I think at most they only ever had a TI 99 4A and an NES daisy chain.
That's still a good setup.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No complaints. But we didn't have to have like the VCR as well.
Oh yeah. Well, Cool. Thanks for that email. And I will, this is a rare event, take in Major's email. Just so listeners know, I'll open up a little bit about kind of inside baseball on this podcast. I have just a little bit of dyslexia. So most other hosts are kind enough to take the longer emails for me. And I can read fine, but the longer ones I get tripped up on. And so the longer emails I often memorize. I still read them, but I read them well enough that because I've read them a few times before. So anyway, now that I didn't want anyone to take offense if I sometimes am never reading your emails personally.
Now that you've set the stage.
Yeah, exactly. So Majors writes in, and thank you so much for the email, that Blaster Master Zero thoughts. It was one of the few 3DS games that he bought digitally, and he was hoping for a more Metroidvania, but it was a pretty linear experience, and I definitely agree with that. He enjoyed it and beat it, but didn't bother with the sequels, and he thought it was similar to Shantae and Shovel Knight. And
I would, again, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I would, again, highly recommend Blaster Master Zero 2, and maybe not bother with 3.
Okay. And Zero, the first Zero game, I think is great, and he's right. It's not exactly a Metroidvania, not even as much as the original Blaster Master game, but it's still a fantastic game.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And very nostalgic, too. It feels like the first game, I think. They got it right on.
So much of it is exactly like it.
And about the Netflix Dragon Layers movie announcement, he definitely didn't know that was in the works, let alone Ryan Reynolds being part of it. And he's definitely interested to see who plays Princess Daphne. Every 80s boy first crush. And I definitely, I thought of that as well. And he wonders if it'll be MCU adjacent for the absolute best podcast, Work in Progress.
If I have to cover that, Majors, you're going to have to be a guest.
I wonder if Majors has a Dragon's Lair cab. Because that's a rough one to keep running.
Yeah. A lot of moving parts.
Yeah. And speaking of Zach, he questions your parenting with your kids not liking Princess Bride. But in defense, most kids don't like movies these days. If it's not YouTube, they're not into it.
Yep.
And and this next comment is what I think. 1 second. And I think this next comment is why I prefaced this email with the inside baseball remark. He talks about Zach taking the reins of butchering the emails from Hugh. He'll keep submitting his feedback regardless of how bad it's misread or interpreted. As for the requested follow-up email about Gals Panic S, Rob was Googling Gals Panic SS on the Sega Saturn, not the arcade release. And I still have no idea.
What is with these names?
This has turned into a very Japanese episode, I think. Yeah. And SS is a port of Gals Panic 4, which is a more safe for work version, removes some of the fun of the game. And he hasn't played Gals Panic 4, nor the Saturn SS port. But he did not find the graphics to be as good compared to Gals Panic S series. Okay, it's a lot of weird Gals Panic stuff in there. It's hard to read.
I'm glad you took this one.
And per Rob's nostalgic ramble, I think it was one of the last few episodes that I just talked about pretty much my complete history in hardware ownership. He thinks this is one of the few podcasts that the audience would actually keep listening because we're not here for news or anything like that. We're here for, nostalgia and likely memories that a lot of us share together. So I definitely appreciate that comment.
And as someone who is also part of the audience, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Because when I was halfway through that ramble, I was like, oh my God, I can't stop talking. What's happening? I actually thought about cutting some of that, but I was like, no, I'll go with it. And the social media question of the episode, best console purchase story. In 1990, the manager at Babbage's offered to sell him a TurboGrafx 16 bundle that he was reselling for another customer that won it in a magazine giveaway. So that's really strange. I wonder, like, did he have to pick it up from Babbage's, or did he just resell it to Babbage's, or it was on consignment? I don't know. But that's me, not Major, saying that.
Right.
I already had a Genesis, but the manager at Babbage's knew I was interested in all consoles. And he was a true mall rat, would visit the store 3 times a week. So I bet Major's was one of those customers that Hugh loved. And it was a bundle that came with the console, the pad, the AV Booster Plus, which I would have been jealous of.
Yeah.
Turbo Stick, Turbo Tap, and 5 games: Keith, Courage, Blazing Lasers, Alien Crush, World Class Baseball, and Bonk. That's a good lineup there.
Yeah.
He was asking 50% of retail. At that time, the unit was $150. He forgets what he paid, but he thinks it was around $200 for everything. And a side note, he went back about a year later and got the $300 CD add-on and never looked back. And he's been a Turbo fan for life. So thank you for that email.
We got an email from the No Swear Gamer, and he says his current podcast player has all the old Retro Game Club episodes, so he's been going back to the beginning to catch up with what he had missed. And he's got a little feedback on some early episodes regarding Golden Axe. He says it's a great game. The Genesis port is one of the first games that brought the arcade experience home for him. He was very disappointed to discover the 2-player option was missing on the Sega CD pack-in disc. And he believes it is also missing from the Sega 6-pack cartridge and doesn't think an explanation was ever given. Regarding the PlayStation Classic Mini, early on, I keep calling him Hughes. Sorry.
It's because you never read it before. And now when it's in front of you, it's, yeah.
Right. Early on, you and Hugh discussed that the lineup was not very strong when the system got severely discounted. His question is, what PS1 games would have made it a great lineup?
I'll have to think about that one.
I don't even remember what was on it. I gave mine away as a game club. There was some contest we had. I think I want to say PNW Eric won it. I don't know. I just remember saying, I was like, I don't need this. I gave it away.
I actually just found mine the other day.
Nice.
Yeah, I know I had Wild Arms. I think it was, did it have Final Fantasy VII? I can't remember. Yeah, what a forgettable system.
So regarding his best console purchase, when Nintendo lowered the GameCube price to $99.99, the local Walmart matched that price for its GameCube and Game Boy bundle, which came with a Game Boy player, the demo disc, and Zelda Ocarina of Time Master Quest. That's a great deal, by the way.
Yeah.
He sold the Zelda disc on eBay and used that money to buy a subscription to Nintendo Power, which at the time came with the Zelda Collector's Disc for GameCube. That included Zelda 1 and 2, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask. Not bad for $99.99. Not bad at all. That's awesome. It's a phenomenal deal.
Yeah. Sorry, going back to the PS1 Classic Mini, that got me thinking. First of all, that's a great question. The episode for the future, we should try to remember.
What would have made the PS1 Classic Mini?
Yeah. And we could even say we could expand it on even what other systems would have been better, had better
right.
collections, but because I just can't remember what was on that. But I meant to also say this during Bovine's email. If anyone has a Vita, you should also hack that as well, because it is wildly easy to hack now. And the hack for it, I know I talked about this about 2 years ago. The hack for it has a button and a list where if you don't have a game for Vita or PSP or PS1, you just click that game in the list and it downloads it for you. I don't know where
That's
it downloads
awesome.
it from, but it's like, I can't believe this has not been stopped yet. It's crazy. but you have all those games. You literally have every PS1 game, PSP game, and every Vita game right there. It's nuts, and you don't have to search for them. So
I might have to pick up a Vita.
yeah, because seriously, it has I think it has a PSP like built in pretty much. So yeah. Sorry, total side thought.
No problem. No Swear Gamer has another story on a console purchase. He once bought a nice NES lot that included the system, controllers, a wooden cartridge holder that you could put the system on top of, and about 20 games with manuals for $10.
Oh,
That's unbelievable. At a sidewalk sale in the early 2000s. I would have guessed 1990s for that price. That's crazy. Yeah.
that's awesome. I'm jealous.
So regarding Bust a Move, he says him and his friend were way into Bust a Move 2 when it was out. His friend had it for PS1 while he had it for the Sega Saturn. One night they played it for hours, and driving back home, he could see bubbles every time he blinked.
Yes.
So that's worrisome. And now he thinks he's caught up now. So
Nice. Awesome. Well, thank you all for all those emails. And we do have some social media. Gunber asked a question, which I now know how to pronounce that because we were both in Bovine's Twitch yesterday. And then Bovine had us raid another. I think we were like in 3 channels together yesterday. Anyway, Gunber asks, what's the furthest you played an arcade game on a single credit? And I put my answer in there first, which it's probably Galaga. It's just one of those games I was naturally good at. I always practiced Tubin and Cloak and Dagger a lot, so I think I got pretty far in those with 1 credit. And then I also got really good at the Munsters pinball machine, which is a fantastic pinball machine. SM Aliva writes in, he hasn't played an arcade cab in over 30 years, but would probably say Miss Pac-Man. Back in the day, he could get to level 6 or 7. Starsky says an arcade near him growing up had the Playboy pinball machine, and he could get really far in a single credit. Jimmy G from the Pie Factory writes in, saying he could get to level 7 in Burger Time, and destroy 2 Sinistars once as well. Not
sorry, Bovine.
Majors writes in, this is the one sorry, Majors. I hope you, at least in Discord, clarify this answer for me. It is I'm not blaming you, I'm blaming my naivety. He's been working on a high score for Mars, M period, A period, R period, S period, and with 1 credit, got about 20 minutes in before he died. I looked up a game for that and I couldn't find it. Do you know what that is?
I found it. Yeah. It's like a side-scrolling shoot 'em up, but the monitor is tape mode, so it's vertical, but you go side to side horizontally.
Interesting.
So that's a weird choice, and you can fire in 8 directions.
Can you link that to me in Discord or something?
Yeah, I got to find it again.
Okay.
But I'll do that.
And that's not, because the only one I could think of is Mars Matrix, which I don't think it's that. Let's see here. Another one, game systems you regret selling. Guido23, he's like, no, you're not late to the game. There's a retro show. You could write in any time. And the oldest episodes possible. Does not matter. But he sold his TurboGrafx 16 and CD with games and accessories for $50 in high school. He also gave the same friend his NES plus the games as well, because he was a computer guy and would never want that stuff back. Atari Yinzer writes in, he doesn't have any stories about selling games, but he moved a few years ago and left his Saturn, Netlink, Arcade Racer, and about 10 games. One being Power Slave. And that really hurts.
Yes.
That's rough. And let's see. Best console purchase stories. That's me. I start this
Who's
one
that
as well. So, yeah, again, questions about your best console purchases. And I pre-ordered the Nintendo 64 from Toys R Us. And a few days before the actual release of the console, I decided I was a hacker and I edited my pay receipt. And I went in, it was like 2 or 3 days before, maybe 4 days. It was like pretty far in advance. And the guy was like, sure, fine. And he gave me a Nintendo 64 with 2 games. Well, 1 game. And it wasn't until recently that I was reading about that to see if anyone else got away with that. And apparently it was really common with Toys R Us. They just let the floodgates open a few days early. And it was either at Babbage's or Electronics Boutique. I was saving for the Turbo CD-ROM attachment. And when I finally had enough money, I went in there. And it was seriously like Janine from the Ghostbusters. Like, we got one. I think I was the first person or the only person to buy that from that store. And then the story I've told 1,000 times where I got the Dreamcast and the PS2 for like $35. That was pretty epic.
That's a good deal. Yeah, good deal.
And then Starsky, best and worst, was camping out overnight at Walmart for the Wii launch. His brother called his parents for a ride home around midnight. He played Parcheesi with some randos, and they kept blocking him from going forward. So he never played Parcheesi again. And he got home tired and played a lot of Wii bowling till his arms were sore, and then took a nap. Is that what you call it, a nap, when you finally go to bed late
Right?
at night?
I mean, I guess it depends on how long you sleep for. If you sleep for 30 minutes, it's a nap. You sleep for 8 hours, you went to bed.
And then
Maybe it
next
depends
one,
on where you lay down too.
Oh, yeah. And then the next one, for Bionic Commando, a recent Game Club game, he remembers keeping the NES on for 4 days straight to beat it. And that was Art with Heath wrote that in.
I am certain that I did that as well and made sure to tell my parents to not turn it off.
Yeah.
Because I had made that mistake before. They're like, oh, he left his game player on.
Yeah, I think at one point I put tape over the NES Lite so they wouldn't know.
Nice. Clever. There you go.
So what's our next question of the episode?
So we're going to go with Hugh's question, which is, what are the most RF boxes you've daisy chained together?
Nice.
The number to beat is 3.
Yeah. And I think you could even write in with like, what's your wildest, not even daisy chain. Like if you have so many consoles just hooked up to one system.
Yeah, like
one
something with a bunch of composite video switchers.
Yeah.
All that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Send pictures.
Yes, exactly. I want to see that rat's nest. Well, cool. Again, that's email@retrogameclub.net. Our socials are on there. Our Discord is on there. Get on in. Tons of combo. And Zach, any closing thoughts?
No.
Yeah.
You put me on the spot.
Yeah, I know. No, we
come join the Discord. It's a lot of fun, and keep the emails coming. Play the games. A lot of times I'll link to archive.org for if you can play a game there online. Just remember to hold down a button on the on your controller so that it recognizes that it's there. And check out Absolutely the Best Podcast, A Work in Progress.
Absolutely. Yeah. And all right. Well, thank you all so much.
Take care.